Good morning. It's Monday and I'm Nancy Joy. 2 or 3 weeks ago, a friend came over and we started talking about strings of consciousness and how they affected our reality. And after she left, I kind of got a download guidance, and this whole thing came together for me, which I wanted to share with you today because it makes so much sense as we are moving through this shift of 2012, whatever you want to call it, shift of the ages, the Mayan end times. We all have a huge sense things are changing. And as our foundations are crumbling, our economic, social, religious foundations are crumbling underneath us, we form a chain of conscious understanding. And the way this works is my mind, how I'm going to explain consciousness to you. A person to me is one who operates and is aware or learning universal law and coming from that place of God's self, of centered God's self as much as possible. For example, a conscious person is not a victim. They realize that everything they experience, they created, and they see it as an opportunity, no matter how devastating. Now, emotionally, you may not see it as an opportunity, but your consciousness understands that. A conscious person takes responsibility for their lives and for their actions, not for other people's lives. And a conscious being acknowledges that part of themselves that is part of the universal oneness of all that is, part of the universal heart of God, of which we all are a part. Now, we all are at varying degrees of awakening. We're all at various vibrations of consciousness. But what took form for me was the understanding, there is, in physics, there is a law called the string theory. I looked it up. It's very complicated for my mind. I barely understood it. Has something to do with particles and gravity and how things, particles string out like a guitar string sound on a guitar string. But as I read about this, plus the download I was receiving, it came all together that whatever level of consciousness we're at, there are particles of that consciousness, of that truth, that spiral out from our heart, I believe, and I believe it is a spiral instead of a string, but that's just how it was shown to me. And little droplets, let's say like of water, only these are droplets of consciousness, and they're going out into the universe, where universal law, of course, will bring them into reality, will create them, because they are levels of consciousness. And as this isn't working today with this lights and this sound, I don't know what's going on. I've tried to record this 5 times, so we're just going to go for it the way it is, and I do apologize. But this is important because whatever level of consciousness you are at is what, of course, you are putting out and creating in the universe. So then the whole thing made sense to me that as we go through this shift, ascension, whatever you want to call it, each individual is going to create their new reality where they end up or where they're headed according to their own level of consciousness, their own level of belief system, their own level of response to stimuli. So it kind of does away with this, how is it going to look? Are people that get it going to wake up and live in this new great reality, and people don't? They're going to be stuck here? Everybody has different varying levels of consciousness, and we are all creating a string of our own vibrational consciousness out there in the universe, and that is what we are stepping into, our own creations. Now then, as we are all one, whatever one consciousness creates, it's connected to all consciousness. So therefore, there is a level of this string theory of consciousness, let me call it that if I may, pardon me all you physics people, but that would then plug into, as we do templates and grids, to the greater consciousness, bringing this expanded reality to the whole. So no matter what is going on eventually on the outside, it is your level of consciousness which will determine what you experience and how you experience it. Therefore, if you think about this, say there was a cataclysm of some type. I don't know, an earthquake where you live. Big one. Well, depending on your level of consciousness, that might happen and you might just feel it is barely anything. Or you might feel some extraordinary door opening. Someone else might be in such fear that they're going to experience it as the end of the world. Another person as the beginning of a new world. It doesn't matter what the actual thing that occurs is on the outside, because it is your string of consciousness that will interpret that into your reality, into creating your reality. So think about that this Monday morning. It's something pretty exciting, really, because it takes away all this, is everybody going, what's going to happen, is it the end times? It's really an experience. You might experience something like the tsunami if you were one that was inundated, let's say, dead, killed from the tsunami, but you might have experienced it as a huge moment of bliss into another conscious reality. Same experience. So this is pretty exciting. I other people have probably said it, but the way it came together for me was pretty cool. So I like to call this Monday morning reflection is sliding on your string of consciousness through 2012 into your new reality. I like it a lot. So have a great week. Have a great Monday, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.